Well, I promised you a mountain on my next video, and in this video you're going to get 3 mountains, but I'm not in a hurry anymore. Well, temporarily. I'm in this place. Hello everybody, Dan here at Right Nice Places. And first off, apologies. 2 videos ago I was in Bethgelert and I said I was going to introduce you to my dream mountain cottage that I've just moved to. Now the truth is, I have moved to that cottage, but because of my new job working on Wainwrights that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I've had to go away for a bit of training. So I've got my new house, I've put my furniture in it, and then I've not slept in it since, and that was a week and a bit ago. I am now, however, in another right nice place. I'm in Keswick, in the Lake District, not somewhere I often go, so I'm a little bit lost. Certainly not in Wales anymore, but only for a short time, because I'm here to do some training for my new job on Wainwrights. And I thought, well, why not make a video while I'm here? Because Keswick really is a right nice place. Now, it's not as nice as North Wales, let's be honest. The Lake District is good, but it's not as good as Wainwrights, in my humble opinion. Of course, I'm sure there's plenty of you that will disagree, but each to their own, horses for courses and all that. So anyway, I'm staying as well at the YHA in Keswick, the youth hostel. Now, I've not stayed in a youth hostel since I was a youth, and my God, have they changed. It's absolutely stunning. And you'll see my room in just a second, because I'm going to show it to you. But for now, I've come out this evening, I've finished my training for the day, and there's just a little hill. It's only 350 metres. The time is now 5:15 in the evening, so, you know, I've got about 4 hours of daylight left. So I thought, why not take the opportunity now to go up a cheeky little hill before I go out for some tea this evening. So I'll show you what it is. I did have the name in my head a second ago, but you'll have to forgive me. My knowledge of the mountains in the Lake District is pretty much zero. Other than the big famous ones, obviously I've done Scafell before, I know Great Gable, I know Catbells and all that sort of stuff. And Skiddaw, I think it's Skiddaw. That's really close to where I'm staying, so I'm hoping to do that as well this week. So I'm not going to make loads of videos about my time in the Lake District. I'm just going to make one video. I'm here for 4 days, 5 days, but I'm here to work. I've got a lot of training to do, but in my spare time I'll get up a couple of hills. So I'm going to do one in a minute. I'll tell you the name of it in a second when I recheck my map. So after consulting my map again, the name of the little hill we're going to do, 368 metres I'm going to do now, is called Latrigg. So I've been inside a lot today doing training, and you know, I'm not really a sit down kind of guy, so I feel like I've got lots of energy to burn off. I want to go for some dinner tonight, find somewhere pretty in Keswick, but before I do that I just feel like I need to get some steps in for the day. I mean, according to the old Garmin, I've only done 4,500 steps today. And I've been up since 6, which is a shocking amount of steps, you know. Normally by this stage of the day I'm on about 20-odd thousand, so I don't feel like I've burnt enough calories. So let's get up this little hill. And I do think if I get the time to do Skiddaw, which I really hope I do, because Skiddaw is 991 metres. Now Wainwrights is only 1,085, so not a lot of difference, you know. It's 3,000 footer, so you know that'll be great to do while I'm here if I get the opportunity to do it. I don't know how the weather's looking for the rest of the week, and I don't know how my training schedule is looking either, so I thought tonight I've got a lot of time, so let's just do this nice little one. And the reason I'm doing it is in the youth hostel that I'm staying in, which I can't recommend enough, by the way. If you are in Keswick and you don't want to spend crazy money on posh hotels or Airbnbs, then as you've just seen in the video of my room, all right, you know, I'm not staying in a 4-poster bed with room service, a mini bar and Sky TV, but if that's why you come into the Lake District, then you're coming from all the wrong reasons anyway. My room's clean, it's comfortable, and the view next level. But what they've also got in that youth hostel is a big board as you come downstairs saying try the Latrigg challenge, and you sort of put your hand on a board in the youth hostel and you have to set off. Now I'm going to go and walk as quick as I normally walk and see if these English hills burn my legs as much as those Welsh ones do. But from the hostel to the top, I think the record time at the minute is one of them crazy fell runners, you know, 14 minutes from the Used hostel up there. So it obviously isn't a very long walk, this, but I'm hoping, for your sake really, because otherwise it'd be a bloody boring video, I'm hoping it offers some good views. But as I say, this video isn't purely going to be on that. It's going to be 5 days in Keswick amalgamated into one short video highlighting a couple of hills, if I hopefully get the chance to do it. And again, apologies that you've not seen where I'm working in a ruri yet, or seen my beautiful mountain cottage that I was talking to you about, but you will. The problem is I've not been home for weeks now. I've just not had a chance with the new job, the house move, celebrating Nauko's birthday in Dublin, and all that other jazz. I've literally not been at home. I've not even seen poor Maxie. Maxie's living at my mum and dad's house with his little cousin Ruben. So yeah, all very strange in the mix for me at the minute. But anyway, Latrigg Hill, and I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, as I say, the Lake District is foreign to me, so I'm sure there's people watching that know it much better than I do. So please, if I get the names of anything wrong, do correct me, because as I say, this is all new to me. So for tonight, that's the little hill I'm going up there. That's Latrigg. And again, I hope I'm saying that right. And what I'm hoping to do, if I get the time, is those big lumps in front of me that have got clouds on top. I believe that's called the Little Man of Skiddaw, or Little Man Skiddaw. And then beyond that is the main peak of Skiddaw, or Skiddaw. I want to say Skiddaw. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, that's where I'm hoping to go. The one that's covered in clouds as well. Hiya, you alright? But for now, we're going to go up this little track. We're going to do this little hill, and it is a little hill. 368 metres really isn't a big challenge, but I might be about to get attacked by this dire wolf on the prowl. Look, apparently they're a natural breed up here in the north now, you know, probably bump into Edard Stark. But yeah, looking really pretty, them hills, and I look forward to doing them. And apparently I've read the maps last night of them. They look quite big, they look quite scary, but it's pretty simple track, I believe, to get up there. But hopefully I'll show you just how simple it is on this video. But first we're going to go and do this Latrigg. So let's get up there, shall we? Because I'm hoping it makes me hungry enough for me tea. And it better not be too hard, because as you can see, I'm being one of them amateur hikers today who's got absolutely nothing on him. I couldn't be bothered bringing all my kit for its maximum walk of an hour. Got a bottle of Lucasade in the front pouch. And I've got my map in my pocket, or my OS app in my pocket, so I've got enough gear for a little hike, you know. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, so I'm not far, I don't think, from the top now. And again, still no technicality, but I'll be honest, it's a steep little bugger, this. And in these trees, the humidity, whew, oh, almost fell on my arse then. This humidity is absolutely a killer. It's like walking in a sauna. I mean, I'm also trying to push myself, because, you know, if I'm not sweating, I'm not working, am I? But yeah, you might see behind me just how steep this is. When you come out of the woods, you come to this little stile, and then you can actually see the top of the hill just up there, so not much further to go. Oh, I'll be honest, this is steep, little and steep. Reminds me a bit of Moylvery back in Aruri. However, I'm suddenly starting to get rewarded by very pretty views. So that's where I want to go this week, up there. But now behind me, you see Keswick opening up, and it's looking beautiful, man. And again, I haven't got the knowledge to tell you exactly what mountains I'm looking at over there. I'll be able to tell you when I've checked the map. But one thing I will say about the hills around here is they remind me a little bit more of the Cambrian mountains in Wales. Yes, they're higher, but they're very green. They're very rolling. You know, it's like the Cambrians or Lancashire on steroids a little bit, really, rather than that jagged, rough, you know, sort of raw beauty that Erurii has to offer. And in no way am I saying this isn't beautiful. I'm doing bloody well talking to you while I'm going up here. But it's just a lot more green and rolling. It's not got that rugged sort of Badlands feel of North Wales. But, I mean, absolutely stunning. Look at that. And all right, there's a bit of effort involved getting up that hill. But as I say, if you take your time, any level of fitness could do this. I'm obviously rushing for a few reasons. One, I want to get back for my tea. And two, I've not done a hill for a while. And as you all know, I'm a big believer in hills for mental health. And if you're feeling stressed or annoyed, then get a pair of boots on and make yourself sweat. Because believe me, any problems you got in your head will just vanish. Because all you can think about is trying to catch your breath. Whew. But as always, guys, if you are suffering, don't be alone. Send me a message, let's talk, let's walk, and let's take away the stigma of men's mental health. It's all right to cry, chaps. Keep that in mind. Well, here I am, just about to get to the summit. And I don't know if you can see, oops, sugar, just how spectacular them views are behind me now, and to my left. But I tell you what, if you happen to be in Keswick with kids, or you're just new to walking, what a bloody walk this is. I mean, I'm literally 10 yards from the top, and from where I'm staying down at the YHA, it's taking me 20 minutes and 15 seconds to reach that little bit of a hill there. And all right, I've been going at some pace to try and push myself, but you could take all day with kids doing this. Bring a picnic. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Zero technicality, zero reasons to be scared. Just a really, really beautiful hilltop. And here I am, absolutely wonderful. And you can see now behind me the path that I'm hoping to take to Skiddaw. I'm going to keep calling it Skiddaw. If it's Skiddaw, I'm sorry. But that's the path I'm going to take hopefully this week to get me to the top of that hill. But here I am at the top of this one. Unbelievable. And I'm going to spin this camera around. Look at that now. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. So yeah, now I've got my map out. I've just had a quick look at it, and as I said, I don't know all the mountains around here, guys. I couldn't name them all for you, but I'm pretty sure over at the other end of that lake in the clouds is Scarfell Pike. Certainly behind them, that group there. But as I said, I don't know the names of all of them. I just know that's Skiddaw. Oh, bloody hell, almost fell then. And that's where I want to go to. But yeah, if you're looking for an easy walk with the family, I recommend you come up here, man. Absolutely wicked. Anyway, I'm going to head back down now into town. I've burnt some calories, got my step count up a little bit. I'm going to go and find a lovely pub or somewhere to eat in Keswick for the evening before going having an early night. And then tomorrow I'll be doing some more training for my new job. I'm going to be here for a few days. Hopefully do a few bits of filming for you. And I do promise you, the next video after this one, I will show you my new home in Erurii and where I'm living and what it is that I'm up to these days, whilst I continue with my lovely channel that I'm really enjoying. And thank you to everybody who's subscribing. It means so much. All the comments that I'm getting, You know, the old Convower. Thank you very much. It really does mean a lot. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because it's absolutely free. And honestly, I can't tell you how warm and fuzzy it makes me feel inside when I see my little subscribers numbers going up. I think I'm on 248 now. I didn't think I'd get 48 at the beginning of this. So it means a lot that there's people out there willing to listen to me rambling on while I'm walking on a hill. And you know, all this started just because I needed to get out for my own mental health for the battles that I've been facing with access to my children, as you know. Keep fighting, chaps. You're not alone. Anyway, for now, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this walk in peace. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. So I'm back down now off Latrigg. Latrigg. Again, please do, you know, mention in the comments about how you pronounce these places, because they're all new to me. But I'm down now. It really didn't take long. 20 minutes, 16 seconds up. Probably about half an hour coming down, because I was just taking pictures and enjoying it, you know. But I'm walking back now towards, excuse me, where I'm staying. And I've got to be honest, Keswick is really, really pleasant. I had a walk through the town last night. There wasn't much opening. But what there was on, and it was lovely to see. I was walking through town last night at 9:15 on a Sunday night, just looking for a garage or something, get a couple of big bottles of water for my room. And out of nowhere, I suddenly got engulfed by thousands of people. I thought, this is well weird. It felt like the Truman Show, you know, like trying to stop me going somewhere. And I found out today what it was. It's a massive Christian festival, goes on for like 3 weeks. And they have like these big tents set up. There's people of all ages. I thought, how cool is that? It doesn't get more marvellously British or English being in Keswick, surrounded by these beautiful mountains with a Christian festival going in town. It's like going back in time, you know. Really, really pretty. I'm going to cross over so I can show you the entrance to where I'm staying. And when I was talking about staying in a YHA, you know, whatever you have in your head about an hostel, because we all probably have mad memories of going away as young lads in the early 90s, late 80s, as cubs or whatever, and staying in some pretty grotty places. Let me tell you, this ain't one of them. Hostels, and in particular the YHA, have certainly upped the game. And you know, it is far more affordable accommodation. And even if it, sometimes you might think, oh well, I could get this for a bit more. The other thing you're doing when you stay at a YHA, you're giving to charity, so that people less fortunate than yourselves, like kids from bad backgrounds, can come and enjoy these marvellous outdoors. But you can see behind me now, the hostel's a white building there, and my room is overlooking this river. Absolutely stunning. And they've even got a cafe open here. So I'll show you the entrance now. So this is the entrance down to the hostel and the Riverside Cafe. But look at this for a location. I mean, yeah, spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Well worth staying in. Anyway, I'm going to grab my power bank because I stupidly forgot it. And then I'm going to go and find somewhere for dinner, because as much as I'm enjoying staying there, a youth hostel, I don't wish to dine with all the youth, because I'd look weird. But here it is now. What a place to stay this is. So this is a cool board I was telling you about, the Latrigg challenge, and then you have to start there where the green hand is, and then you put your time on there. 2016. Woo. So I'm walking through Keswick now. I think I'm on the Cumbria Way. This path or joins onto the Cumbria Way, but I'm walking next to this stunning river on my left here. It's called the River Greta. I don't know where the name comes from, so if you know, answers in the comments. But it's a beautiful river, and what's mad is like it's warm today, it's humid, and I've been seeing kids swimming in it all day, adults swimming in it all day. Beautiful, really beautiful. My voice went all funny then, didn't it? Beautiful. But it is. So I think this is the long walk into town. I've had to check my OS map, and that's another thing, man. If you've not got the OS map app, then I strongly recommend you get it, because for stuff like this it's ideal, you know. I have a lot of paper maps of the area I live in, but you might not necessarily want to splash out 15 quid on a couple of days trip. Well, you might do, I do usually, because I like collecting maps, but it's if you get the OS map app and you get the premium, I think it costs me 60 quid for the year if you pay for the year, so it's like, you know, £5 a month, but you get every map of the British Isles. So like where I've come today, I've been able to get good routes, safe routes, and even when you're walking around town like this, you've got a map. Do you know what I mean? And it's on your phone. You can carry it everywhere you go. Oh, rope swing over there. Oh, I do like a rope swing, you know. But I am heavier than I used to be when I was a kid. I'm actually the lightest I've ever been as an adult. That's mainly thanks to dating, you know, a lady who eats healthy, I suppose. Who actually introduces a bit of veg to my life, because, you know, I am a bit of a meatitarian. But anyway, so yes, I'm really blown away by how nice Keswick is. I know I always poo-poo the lakes a little bit, because I love Ururi so much, but I have been to the lakes before. I've been to Penrith, I've been to Ambleside, I've done Scarfell and that, but not for years. Maybe because I'm older and you appreciate things more. But it's proper good. Let me spin this round and sit so you can see what I can see. Okay, that. And that's the ridge that you can see on the right on that hill. That's what I'm going to hopefully walk up this week. And just follow that ridge all the way around until you get that central hump even, that you can see.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, hello, you alright? There's one of my new colleagues. It's quite pleasant. He just went, right, Dan. And I was dead surprised that somebody knew my name somewhere that I don't even know where I am. So I thought I'd continue on this Cumbria way, because it's bloody lovely. And I'm not quite ready for my tea yet, but look at those two mountains in front of me there. They are beautiful. And if I'm reading my map right, the mountain with the clouds and the path that you can see going up that sort of ridgy spine is Grisdale Pike, I believe. And the one slightly to the left of it that's completely covered in clouds is Grassmoor, I believe. And again, this is only what I think, you know, don't take it as gospel, because it's very new to me, this area. So if you do know the correct answers, please do leave them in the comments. But what a shot that is. What an image. Beautiful. So I'm walking through Keswick now, looking for somewhere to eat, to be honest, but I did find a supermarket, or a co-op, or a posh kind of co-op. Anyway, I got some supplies. And I didn't just get crisps. I got a balanced diet. I got some Lucasade. I got some Monster Munch roast beef. I got some apples. I mean, fair play, Pink Lady apples, which are practically toffee apples, but still, you know, a bit of vitamin C in it. Anyway, have a look at Keswick. This is the town centre. I'm just looking for some lunch, or dinner, or tea. Tea. But yeah, so I don't know where's good to eat, but I fancy something pretty fresh and tasty. Oh, I love the high street. So yeah, let's find some grub. I think I've found where I'm going to have my tea. This old looking pub here, the Dog and Gun. Like a bit of goulash. Looks nice, doesn't it? There's no room at the Dog and Gun, so I'm going to try this place, the Royal Oak. Menu looks pretty fancy. You know, it's a fancy place when the menu's lit up. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of my Keswick adventure with the same video. I've had another day of training today and I'm desperate to get outside. You know, I don't know how people do office jobs, I really don't. I couldn't sit in front of a computer for 8 hours a day. Oh, obviously you can during training, it's a one-off type thing, or for a couple of days type stuff, but dear me. Just like yesterday, got to sort of 5 o'clock today, or about 4 o'clock today. I'd done less than 4,000 steps. I was like, oh man, I need to get moving. So, chatting to a couple of the guys who've been training me, and colleagues and stuff, they told me about a walk not so far away, just out of Keswick. I'm in a place called Borrowdale. I'm just going to spin the camera around. Excuse me. And you should be able to see this hump of rocks in front of me. And I think I'm going to try and climb that little one on the right hand side with the slate and the trees on it. I think. I'm following the map. But what I am doing is I'm aiming to get to what I've been told is the smallest of the Wainwrights. So the Wainwrights aren't something I've done many of. I've done Scarfell, and I'm assuming that is a Wainwright. But this apparently is the smallest, and it's called Crag, which I thought was quite a cool name as well. So yeah, it's just after 5. I'm desperate to get some steps in for the day, and I thought, why not discover a little bit more of this beautiful place just outside of Keswick, a place called Borrowdale. So yeah, so here I am having a nice little mooch after a nice day at work. So yeah, here we go. Hopefully I'll find my way, yeah. It's beautiful though. Oh, so it's opened up a little bit, this view now. I'm going to Castle Crag. I don't know why I was trying to say Castell then. We're not in Wales anymore. But let me just turn this around, because you should be able to see the little path just on the right of the screen there. You can see the coloured track leading me up to where I need to go on Castle Crag. Sorry, I was just distracted then. There was an absolute load of sheep just sort of sprinting at me. I was like, oh, what's going on here? I don't know what spooked them. Anyway, I think we're going up to that little rocky cleft we can see in the trees, and I can see a cave, and I'm pretty sure that's where we're going, because on the map is marked the cave as well. So yeah, but one thing I would recommend for this area, and that is, if you are going to come around here, before I set off, I obviously checked the route on my map that I was going to do on my OS map apps, but then I downloaded that route because while I had signal, because around here signal is non-existent. So well worth downloading your maps, which is a great feature. And you can also print that map off into an A4 size as well, which saves you carrying these bloody great big map cases in the wind, you know. And it gives you all the details on an A4 size, but just of your route, you know. So it's nice and simple. Anyway, I'm going to go, because I could well be getting run over by a load of sheep. So you'll be happy to know I didn't get run over by a load of sheep. Just as they were coming at me, some more walkers popped out of a different corner and the sheep changed direction, so saved at the last minute. But I'm about to start this path, and it looks like it's about to get infinitely more interesting. And we're going to start going straight up instead. Another little sheep, they're everywhere today. I thought we had loads of them in Wales. Lost his mommy, I think, bless him. But yeah. Whew, you can see the path now going up. You can probably see a gentleman coming down as well. But I'm going to guess this is the hill we're taking. And as I say, it's not a massive hill. I think it's 298 metres. And I don't know how, well, I'm pretty sure it's true, because the people I were talking to know the way around this area. So it's the smallest of the Wainwrights as well. If that means anything to you, if you know more about the Wainwrights, please leave a comment, because I know very little about them. So hopefully you can see just how steep this hill's getting behind me. It is only a little thing, but it's steep enough for me to have had to remove a jacket. Because just like yesterday, it's very humid. Let me show you these views behind me. Come up, what, 50 metres? And look at that. Absolutely lovely. Beautiful. So far, a pretty simple walk, other than almost being stampeded like Mufasa by a load of sheep. I know he's a wildebeest, but you know, you get the picture. Oh, but yeah, a pretty simple walk. The beginning bit of the path, super accessible for anybody really. Last little bit of it, a lot of tree roots, so you wouldn't want to try and push a pram or a wheelchair over it. But then when you get to this bit, you need a decent level of fitness, but it's not in any way accessible. But you can have a really nice walk by the river. But you'll see what I mean if I turn this around. It's not an accessible path. It's a pretty one though. So Castle Crag, I'll see you at the top. I'm getting pretty close to the top now. And I'll be honest, it's a steep little bugger. It's not as steep as that Latrigg was yesterday, the way I took up that. I've started filming here because this is a stupendous view. Oh, and making a note of the word stupendous, darling. I intend to use it more in conversation. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And you know, I'll check the map when I get home to see what mountains I'm looking at, but if you do know, I'm sure Great Gable's round this end, I'm sure it is. But again, you know, most of my knowledge of the Lake District comes from watching other people's YouTubes in the area. It's not somewhere I get to explore, so every day's a school day. Do educate me, by all means. Oh, but yeah, steep little bugger. Oh. Which way is this going now? Oh, that way. More glorious steps. Look at that. Beautiful though, isn't it? So I'm maybe 30 metres from the top now, and all of a sudden I feel like I've been transported back into North Wales. Look at what the path becomes at the top of this hill. It's just a slate tip with some half-arsed dodgy path leading to the top. I feel like I'm in Denoric Quarry or something. Denoric Quarry even, sorry. I'll be honest, this is sending my head west. Oh. 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 Yeah, this is a bit, whoo! It's obviously a well-used path, but if you're a bit soft with heights like I am, then I recommend you just keep looking at the path, because it's steep either side. But gotta get yourself out your comfort zone, aren't you? It's good for you. Oh shit. Oh yeah, my head's gone here. But you are rewarded with this. Look at that view. Oh. Weirdly though, when I'm talking to you lot, you forget about it, because it's like you're walking with someone, isn't it? Almost at the top now. And that's why it's good to talk, innit? Even if it's to your bloody self on the camera. Dear me. Maybe I shouldn't have had that big steak last night. Oh, I'm here. In what looks like what would have been old buildings. I assume something to do with the slate quarry that this must have been. Oh. And here we are. Yeah, that was worth having a bumhole like a rabbit's nose for a minute, wasn't it? Because look at that view. I don't know who Fred is, but he obviously enjoyed the view too. If you are coming outdoors, guys, leave no trace. Take only photos, you know, and scroll your name as if you've conquered something. It's just ridiculous. Don't graffiti the tops of hills or anywhere. It's a shitty move. Anyway, I'm going to go and enjoy this view for a second. Unbelievable. So that's me coming down from Castle Crag now. and I reckon I'm probably about 20 minutes from where I parked up down in Borrorsdale, or Borrowdale, and it's not Borrorsdale. Nobody's borrowed Dale. It's Borrowdale, I think. Anyway, like I say, I'm no expert on the Lake District. I'm just up here having a jolly old time, as I've got a bit of training to do, and what a wonderful place to be for some sort of training, because, you know, this is what's great about summer, innit? You know, getting out of work at sort of 4, 5, and knowing you've still got plenty of time to get up an hill and enjoy a bit of the great outdoors. So important. You know, I can't recommend it enough. I mean, today I've had a taste of what office work feels like. Man, if you was doing that 5 days a week and not getting some fresh air, you'd go crazy. You know, so get out there, guys. Get on a local walk, join a Ramblers Society or something. But anyway, I'm rambling now, aren't I? This walk, by the time I get back to where I've parked, I reckon will have taken me an hour in total, maybe an hour and 5. That's including filming and stuff. I think the national park, when I looked on it, recommends an hour and 25. So, you know, it's not a big day out by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a beautiful one. I mean, that view at the top then, absolutely breathtaking. Really, really stunning. Like, again, it's a shame that I don't really know what I'm looking at. I could have got the full map out, but I just had my downloaded one, so I couldn't expand on it really. So I'll have a look when I get back. But yeah, some of the hills and mountains you could see, absolutely incredible. And that one, really bizarre, you know, you're walking up what feels like a normal hill, and then all of a sudden you're on this slate tip with some quarry houses around you. As I said, it really made me feel like I was back in North Wales, around Llanberis or something. It was really nice. Anyway, I recommend this walk, guys. Yeah, any level of fitness will get up here, but definitely not accessible, but really good. Anyway, I'm going to mooch back now into town. I've got another couple of days in Keswick, and I am still going to get up Skiddaw, but I'm just waiting for the weather. I was going to attempt it tonight. It's only about 4.5 miles each way from where I'm staying, so what's that, 9-mile walk? I reckon I can bash that out in about 4 hours. Easy. 2 hours up, 2 hours down, I reckon. So I'm just waiting for a decent weather window, because I don't mind going up at night or when it's getting to dusk, but I don't want to go up in Crag, you know, and not see anything. Speaking of it being dusk though, if you are going to go walking this time of year at this time of day, because you know you've still got plenty of hours of light, just be a bit sensible, man. Like today you'll notice, because I've come a bit further away from home, or from where I'm staying, I've got a little rucksack on. I've not got loads of gear with me, but I've got a set of waterproofs, you know, bit of drink, head torch, power bank, that sort of stuff, you know, because yeah, it's only an hour and a half, but you know, if you got stuck up there, it's not far off dark either, is it, if you have to wait for somebody? So don't go out sort of late on in the day without at least a torch and a jumper in your bag, you know. Anyway, I don't think I'll speak to you again this evening, but I'll probably speak to you tomorrow at some stage, or the next time we speak, I'm hoping it'll be while I'm walking up Skiddaw. So yeah, stay tuned. See you soon. Hello, and today is the day. I'm on day 3 of my training session in Keswick, and I've once again finished for the day, and I'm once again going for a walk, because you know it's important to get outside. It's especially important when you're being paid to spend a week in somewhere like Keswick and the lakes, to get out and enjoy it, innit? It's no good finishing work and just going and sitting in a boozer every night on my own. And today is the day that I'm finally going to go up Skiddaw. I was going to wait until Friday, but all the weathers have changed, and today's looking like the best window, and I can see the top of it excuse me, from where I am now. Now, the weather forecast says about 9% chance of rain. I'm not bothered about rain. I want the clouds to stay high. And it says I'm looking up there now, it looks pretty clear. It looks a bit hazy, a little bit of cloud licking the top, but I don't think I'm going to be walking for any cloud. The time's 3:30 in the afternoon, so I'm going to get a bit of a shift on, because I don't want to be walking back in the dark. I've got my head torch, obviously, just in case, but I don't like walking in the dark. It's bloody boring when you can't see anything. But we're going to do Skiddaw. We're going to do that now. And it's a beast, you know. 991 metres, which means it's a good size. So in feet, that's 3,054 feet. I believe it's the 4th highest mountain in England. It's not England and Wales, just in England, the 4th highest. And obviously, we're not talking about any of the Jockey's mountains way up north, because they're just bigger than everything, aren't they? They're mammoths. But yeah, the 4th highest in England, I believe. Again, you know, the Lake District is new to me, so if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Pop it in the comments. And here's my first signpost Where's this guy trying to park? Here's my first signpost, and according to this, we've got 4 miles to go. 4 miles, hour and a half. Let's see how long. Time is now 3:30. I'll tell you what time we get to the top. So I'm just over a mile into the walk in Skiddaw, and I've just come across a car park. You might be able to see it behind me. So you can obviously drive up here if you don't want to walk. If you don't want to walk from the centre of Keswick, like I have, but it's only 1.3 miles from the centre of Keswick, and so far there is no technicality to this walk at all. Level of fitness is required, there is no technicality, and I can see the path ahead of me. And if I'm honest, it's a bit like Snowdon in the sense that, or a bit more like Pen y Fan, in the sense that it's a bloody motorway going up here. So it's a doddle, so no technicality, just half decent level of fitness really. But yeah, currently 22 minutes into the walk from Keswick, so not hard at all. Lots of little sheep about as well. But yeah, I think in a minute my pace will probably slow, because that bit of the hill looks relatively steep. But then after that it looks like we're sort of on a tabletop for a bit, and then a little more of a lump. But we'll see how we get on. So far though, for a mountain that's over 3,000 foot, albeit just over 3,000 foot, doesn't feel like you're on a mountain. Feels like you're on a really pleasant sort of hill walk, you know, which is what all mountains are ultimately. But again, the differences between the lakes and Ururi really hit home here for me, because it's just such green rolling hills, very similar to the Cambrians rather than sort of ragged roughness of Ururi, you know. But don't let me take anything away from it, it is absolutely breathtaking. And when I get onto this next ridge, I'm hoping the mountains around me will open up a bit more. I can see some in the distance, but it's quite hazy. But it is warm again. You may have noticed I've layered down again. Sorry, I thought I'd lost the mic. I've layered down again. Humidity in the lakes at the minute. Whew. And obviously I'm moving quick and I'm going uphill, so gonna sweat, ain't you? Anyway, we're gonna start going up this hill now. Well, I'm just over halfway up now. I'm blowing out my arse because that was steep and I did go up quick. But you can see now where the views are opening up behind me, and the path you can see behind me going off in the distance. Whew. There really is no difficulty to Skiddaw so far, other than your own fitness. It's taken me to this point 38 minutes, so I'm going at some pace. If I can get there, stop for a minute. If I can get up there within the hour, I'll be buzzing. But let me turn this camera around so you can see, hopefully what I can see. The haze is coming in, and so is the cloud, which is why I'm trying to get to the top as quickly as I can. And then when I get up there, I've got the Jetboil, I've got a chicken tikka, I've got a Mars bar and a Twix, and I've got a cappuccino to make up there as well. So, sorry, sweat in the eyes. That's the problem with being bald. I used to wear an headband, but it makes me look a bit like a militant lesbian when I wear it, so I try not to really. But honestly, when you're bald, you've got nothing to catch that sweat. Should rub the old Vaseline on the eyebrows, but then I look like a rugby player that's got lost up an hill, won't I? Anyway, I'm going to press on, not much further, and I'll talk to you again when I get onto the ridge, because I'm hoping you'll get some good views. It's flatter, so I won't be heavy breathing like a dirty phone call, and hopefully we'll see the trig point and beat all this clag that you can see coming in behind me. So I'll speak to you very soon. So finally on the flat top now of Skiddaw, you can see the final bits of the hills. I believe the little summit you can see in front of me is the Little Man, or Little Man Skiddaw, and behind it is the main part of Skiddaw. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear on the camera or on the video, sorry, but That wind is definitely picking up now. But to be honest, after the amount of sweating I did on the first part, it's a real welcome breeze. But I do reckon the minute I stop, it's going to cut through me. But thankfully, as always, I've got a rucksack full of layers and all the gear that I need. So I'll layer up when I need to. But I don't think I've got much further to go, to be honest, about 1.5 miles. And if I'm honest, as I say, I went up pretty quick up that steep part. So I got the blood pumping and I like that. But if you're too cold day on it, it reminds me a lot of the Llanberis path up Erwydda or Snowdon. You know, nothing technical, just a slog up a hill, well marked path. I'd say the Llanberis path is more difficult, but you know, there's not a lot of difference in height. Erwydda 1,085 metres, this one 991. So what? About 95 metres different. But Erwydda is harder. But in terms of technicality, no different and no harder than the Llanberis path, this. But it is lovely. It's just nice to be out. And I've been looking at this hill all week. It's been calling to me, you know. Do you ever get that? When the hill's calling to you? Like a beautiful siren asking you to, well, I was going to say mount it, but that's getting crude. And we can't say climb, because I've not got ropes and an axe. But it's certainly been calling me to walk up it all week. And I'm right glad I have. And fingers crossed, this weather will load out. Anyway, speak to you when we're at the top. See you soon. Hello. So we are now over 3,000 feet in the sky, walking on the spine of Skiddaw, and I'm going to stop to see. It is very, very hazy. I've got a view, but you probably won't have, but I've got Keswick behind me, and I've just got all of the lakes surrounding me now. You can see the haze coming in, so I'm not going to hang around long. I want to get to the top. I want to get into the wind shelter, and I'm going to cook some dinner up here, because why not, you know? I've got plenty of hours of daylight left. The trig point is right in front of me now. You can maybe just see it. Might look further away on the camera than it is in reality. But I've got about, I'd say, 5 minutes walking until the summit. Yeah, I'm just over 4 miles now. Supposed to be 4.5 miles from the centre of town, or from where I started at my accommodation. And I've now been walking for 1 hour 25 minutes, so I should be spot on 1.5 hours when I get there, which, you know, I've not done the hill before. I've been at work all day. I didn't start until 3:30 in the afternoon. I'd say that's pretty good going. Although saying that, as I said, there's no technicality to this hill, certainly not in good weather. But then even in snow, there is cairns everywhere. It's an easy path to follow, and as long as you're comfortable with a map and compass, I really can't see this being too difficult. Crazy mountain biker coming past me. Afternoon, sir. But as I said, if you've never been up Skiddaw before, and I know most of the mountains I do are always in a ruri, I would compare this really to the Llanberis path on Erwydda. This is easier. This is definitely easier. But in terms of technicality, very much the same. Wicked views. Whoop. He says no technicality, trips over a stone the size of a 50p coin. Absolute prat. But yeah, I had to get up here today. And again, apologies that the last couple of videos. I was in Dublin on the last video, celebrating with my good lady. And now I'm in Keswick. But I wasn't expecting to be here, you know. I got the new job working on Erwydda, and then I had to come away from training, so I've not had a chance to film anything back home, and I've not had a chance to film my house, because I keep promising to show you my beautiful new mountain cottage, which I am buzzing with. It is lovely. I'm really pleased with where I'm living, back in the heart of Aruri, back in the mountains. But you know, I've not even sorted it out yet. It's all upside down. It's all a bit carnagey in there at the minute. I've only slept in it twice. I mean, currently it's great. I'm paying for 2 houses at the minute, and I'm living in neither of them, and I'm staying in a youth hostel. How does that work? Transition periods in life. But let me tell you, I am buzzing with it because it is a new life for me. New job, new house, and none of it's got to do with my ex-partner. You know, it's just nice. It's a complete fresh start, and obviously I'm still battling to see her else, because, you know, she is my world, and we will win, and we will be together again. But it feels just like I've had a clean break and got away from all that bullshit, you know. So if you are struggling, and you know, I know men do struggle in the family courts and with divorce, let me tell you, I mean, I can throw facts at you all day about how disgustingly biased the system is, because it is. It's a sexually biased institution, let me tell you. And what's funny is, you know, what is it? Was it 2010 we had the Equal Rights Act? They don't give a damn about your sexuality in the family courts. Let me tell you, if you're a woman, you get away with murder. If you're a bloke, God help you. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that today. But mental health is always important, and as always, there's nothing better for your mental health than the great outdoors. And that is why I heavily promote it. But I'm going to spin this camera around now, because here we are at the summit, 3,054 feet, or 991 metres. I prefer feet because it makes you sound like you've done more, doesn't it? But here we are, the nice little windbreak there. So we're going to get into that in a second. We're going to get the Jetboil out. We're going to get a brew on the go, get a tikka on the go, and then make the slow ascent back down Skiddaw. And what a hill it's been. Nice and easy, nice and simple. Recommend it to anybody. If you're looking for your first mountain perhaps in the Lake District, what a cracker this would be. Because it's easy. Only requires effort, and anybody can commit a little bit of effort, can't they? Anyway, sit here. I'll chat to you in a second when I've got a brew on. Oof, right, so guys, I am at the top. Oh, sugar. I am at the top now of Skiddaw, 3,054 metres in the sky. It's not too cold. It's chilly enough for me to put an extra layer on, and because I'm bald, you know, I'm going to stick a bob hat on for a second, because what I'm going to do now is get the old Jetboil out, get a brew on the go, and get some grub on the go, I think, because I've got plenty of daylight hours left. Absolutely plenty of daylight hours. There's my cup. Contigo. I do like a Contigo. Bit of Lucasade, because I always like to throw some electrolytes in there. And a cheeky instant cappuccino. Normally I have tea. Obviously I'm a tea kind of guy. You know, Yorkshire Tea Gold, innit, and all that. But as they've not sponsored me yet, they can bugger off. No, I'm only joking. All it is I didn't have any milk, and staying in an hostel, I don't have a fridge in my room, so I didn't want to go and buy any milk for it to only go off. So I thought, simple option, bring one of my instant cappuccinos that's got milk in, you know. So I can't recommend them enough, the Nescafe things. Got myself a little cheeky Wayfarer boil in the bag meal. I always have these in my rucksacks. They're just handy. You might have seen one of my Hadrian's Wall videos recently, and if you haven't, check them out. And I tried what are they called? The fire pot meals. They were really lovely, and they're so light, but they take ages, in the sense that you know, you have to let them stew for 15 minutes, as well as boil your water and all that nonsense. And yeah, all right, they weigh a third of the weight of one of these Wayfarer meals. They also cost double the price. There's no extra calories in them, and they were no tastier. So I thought, well, bugger that, you know. Whereas these ones, in my Jetboil, I can get this meal from naught to tasty, as rustlers used to say, in about 5 minutes. That's assuming, of course, that I can fasten my gas onto the canister. But yeah, so within about 5 minutes, I'll have a chicken tikka. And what I like about the boil in the bags is you don't need to put the water in them, so you're saving time brewing up as well, because I can use the water to make my brew and my food. So obviously I'm going to boil the food in this water, and then afterwards I'm going to use that same water for my brew. So, you know, it's saving time as well. So yeah, the Jetboil's on the go now. I've got my chicken tikka in there. Won't take long at all. And then we'll have a nice coffee. And I've just got the waterproof jacket out. I'm not going to put it on just yet. But it is looking, and I can feel a few spots of rain coming in now. Yeah. It's getting very dark around me. Not a problem. What's good though is the clouds are going to stay high. It's not going to get cloud covered. I just might get a bit wet. And that's all right. Excuse me, I'm just scoffing a Snickers. You know, as a little starter before my main course. But I find when you've stopped, I've battered it up that hill then, 1 hour and 30 minutes to the top, and I find I need a bit of sugar. Just to kick in, a couple of electrolytes, stop the old cramp, and then a leisurely stroll back down. But I'm going to eat first because it is tea time. I'm not missing a meal, you know? So why not have a nice Wayfarer? Anyway, you don't need to see me eat Snickers. You don't need to see me scoff my Wayfarer meal, because I'm sure you've seen me do that in the past. All you need to know is if you don't have a Jetboil, go and bloody buy one, because for days like this, when you just want a quick, nice day up a hill, but you've only got a certain time to go, it's ideal, isn't it? Nice, quick meal. Anyway, I'll chat to you all in a bit. Oof, I tell you what, that cloud that has come in, you might be able to see around me. I've still got great views. You guys might not be able to see as much as I can at the minute. But the clouds have really come in. Little spots of rain in the air. But what's come in with that cloud is the temperature drop has been phenomenal. And you know, this is why it's so important if you're going to come up an hill, bring some layers, man, because I'm currently at 3,000 foot in the sky. It's a lot cooler up here, funnily enough, than it is down on the ground. You know, down on the ground I started off, I mean, I was wearing a t-shirt up until maybe half a mile from the summit, and it is the wind chill. But now I've been sat still for, probably been sat there half an hour. I've just had my lamb tikka, cooked myself. I didn't cook a cappuccino, but I did make a cappuccino, and I've got that in my little Contigo mug for the way down, which is when this front pouch comes in really handy, because it's got a Mars bar. Might have 2 Mars bars if I'm being honest. It's got 2 Mars bars in it. It's got my cappuccino in it, and my phone's in there currently on charge on its power bank, you know. So front pouches are great, I love them, and you can get them pretty cheap these days as well online. And I just find it's easier for bits of kit that I use throughout the walk, rather than constantly going into your rucksack or having your pockets full. You know, just got to get one that fits you properly, really, because you don't want, what you don't want is 2 sets of straps here and here rubbing, which isn't a problem with the one that I've got. And I think I paid about 20 quid for it, you know, so really not dear. But anyway, I'm coming off. It doesn't look like I'm coming off Skiddaw from here because I'm going back up, but it's just a little hill, and then I'm going to be going all the way down to where we started at the YHA in Keswick. But here's a question for anybody who knows this area better than I do. On the top of Skiddaw, I'll get it right one day. On top of Skiddaw, it's got 2 trig points, about 3 meters apart, one slightly higher than the other. So if anybody can tell me why, I'd be interested to know. It seemed a bit weird to me. I can understand if one had crumbled, but they were both looking in top nick, you know. So if you know why, oh sugar, Skiddaw has 2 trig points, let me know. And the other thing I've just done while I've been at the top then is I love seeing it. 2 blokes with the kids. Kids couldn't have been much older than my Elsie. You know, Elsie used to love climbing a mountain with her dad. And kids do love it. Yes, they moan all the way up. Yes, they kick off. Yes, you need to carry 15 kilos of Haribo to keep them entertained. But the look on them kids' faces when I took a picture for them all, sat on the trig point, buzzing. Honestly, you don't get that complete in Mario Kart, let me tell you. Get your kids outside. Don't let them grow up to be fat slobs, which is what, I don't mean to be mean, but it's what kids are turning into, innit? Let's be honest. You know, we need to keep our kids fit physically, because mentally they'll be stronger. Watching them just slob in front of YouTube videos, he says, whilst making a YouTube video, or this mad thing that they do with TikTok videos and shorts where they're just scrolling and scrolling. You know, get them scrolling on a piece of paper and a map. planning a route, far better for the brains. Anyway, I've gone on a bit of a tangent there. I only really wanted to know why there's 2 trig points, and I've gone on about childhood obesity for some reason. It's because I'm all jacked up on sugar and coffee after my little pit stop. But let me tell you, if you don't own a Jetboil or any form of outdoor cooking device, lightweight one, then get one. Because I know I always say it, but having a cold butty on top of an hill is alright, but it's nowhere near as good as having a hot, tasty meal that you know contains about 500 calories, so it's going to boom you up for your way back down, you know. Now I've got loads of energy, which is good, because I've got 4.5 miles to walk yet. So, Skiddaw, let's talk about it anyway. In terms of technicality, 0. Certainly the route I've taken. One of the chaps, I mentioned him, he was a mountain biker. He has told me about a ridge that you can do. Now, it's not a ridge like Crag on Earth with the. It's got a path going across that ridge, so it's nowhere near as sort of terrifying. But the reason I'm not going back that way is it drops me off 6 miles outside of Keswick. And as much as I enjoy a hike, 6 miles down an air road doesn't sound thrilling to me. So I'm going to go back the way I came today. That might be one for another day, or for another person. Please tell me if you've done it. Let me know what it's like. But for now, I'm just going past these gnarly looking sheep. Look at this bugger. He's a gnarly looking one, isn't he? Hello, little gnarly looking sheep. Very gnarly looking sheep. But yeah, so I'm going to go down the way I came up. So there's 0 technicality on this path. I'll be honest, I don't think there's even any requirement for map reading on this path. It's so obvious. I mean, I've got a map with me. I've got my OS app and my power bank, which is currently charging up my phone. So yeah, so I've got a map, but you don't need it, honestly. It's a real obvious path. I keep saying it's like the Clanberry's path, but if I'm honest, I think it's more like Penavan. You know, if I show you this around me now, you can see where this path just goes off and off and off into the distance. And now I'm off that summit, probably going to have to delayer again, because it's getting hot. Anyway, I'll speak to you nearer to the bottom, because there's not a lot to tell you on the way down, other than it's an easy path, anybody could do it. And yeah, I think it took me, what, 1 hour and 30 going up. It's probably going to take me 2 going down, but that's because I'm old and I've got bad knees and hips these days, and I like to take it slow. But yeah, depending on your fitness level, I'd say give yourself 5 hours, maybe 6 hours, like you would on Snowdon if mountains are new to you. But for me, doddle. 1 hour and 30 minutes up, and let's see if we can get down in 2, but we'll stop for a brew. So I'm about 2/3 of the way down Skiddaw now. I will get that right by the end of this video. It's so frustrating, Skiddaw. I don't know why I keep trying to say Skiddaw. I'm sure my Welsh pronunciation is creeping into my English pronunciation. Anyway, I'm in sight of the car park. I didn't stay at the car park, obviously. I carried on walking down Latrigg Hill from there into Keswick itself. But I'm almost at the car park. So that's the end of my Keswick adventure, really. I go home in the next couple of days and I won't have time to do any other hills whilst I'm here. So, you know, hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me going up hills that I'm not very familiar with, and perhaps you guys who are watching know more about them than I do. So if you do know anything about where I've been, please leave a comment. And as always, please do like, share, and do subscribe to Right Nice Places. It's absolutely free to do so. And, you know, it makes it easier for me to come out and do what I'm doing when I get subscribers, because it motivates you to think that, you know, people are giving up their time to watch my big bald melon walk up and down hills. It's really beautiful. So anyway, thanks for joining me in another Right Nice Place. This has been Keswick, this has been Dan, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.